I am a transgender woman. I, of course, do still have a penis.
For a long time we were taught that femininity for men was something that could be degrading or decreases what it means to be a man, and I think it makes you a more rounded, more complete person, and just be yourself, own who you are.
Okay, so early life, going back to New York City.
Yes.
You're a kid, you're growing up, you're going to school.
Yeah.
What were you like as a young pupil in school?
I always say it wasn't, my life as a young kid wasn't out of the ordinary. I don't mind referring to myself even then, and it took some time to get there too as a little girl, because that's what people saw me as, that's who I was then.
I really wanted to talk about tucking, and the reason being is because I myself have had to tuck, you know, over the years, for many years.
Yes, I'm a man with a pussy. Once I was a girl named Susan, and now I'm a guy named Buck. And I felt like this guy you see right here, and I was Susan, that girl you see in those pictures.
Buck started transitioning from woman to man at 28 through hormone therapy, a strict diet and a pretty intense workout regime. He had his breasts cut off, but still didn't feel man enough.
I wanted a penis like, for me, a cisgender or a biological man has. I wanted the functioning thing that I could use, and they didn't have that. That was sort of like the point where I realized that I don't have to have a penis. I don't have to have it. I don't have to have it to be a man. It's not necessary. It's a misconception completely.
But most people would argue that genitalia is what differentiates us, you know, as men and women. How can you truly be a man without a penis?
What makes a man and what makes a woman? It's sure not genitals. Because what if, let's say you lost your penis. Are you no longer a man? How I feel like a man is owning myself and loving myself.
And you don't even need a penis to make it as a male porn star. Buck Angel was the first transsexual man ever to penetrate the mainstream adult entertainment industry. The world's only porn actor of his kind, the man with a vagina has produced and starred in award-winning hardcore scenes with straight men, gay men and trans women, always playing the role of the man. But what about when the cameras aren't rolling?
It just really depends mostly on the person and that connection I have sexually, or I feel aroused. You know, I feel turned on by you. And it's not really whether or not you're a guy or a girl. I don't really care about that. And also I have to tell you that sex with a man is different for me than sex with a woman. I'm very attracted to guys who are muscular and very hyper-masculine. If I was gonna have, it would probably always be really rough. We'd probably have really punching kind of stuff like that. We'd have probably cigars. I'm very into cigar smoking and boots and fetishy kind of stuff like that. Hyper masculine stuff like that. And if I was gonna probably have sex with a woman, I would say it's much more sort of kissing and sort of cuddling and not so necessarily hardcore that way.
Buck, let's talk relationships. You were married to a dominatrix who left you for Lana Wachowski, who was once Larry Wachowski, one half of the Wachowski brothers who made The Matrix. That must have been hard to swallow.
I've never even talked about it before, because I just didn't feel it was necessary. So I was with my dominatrix wife, Ilsa Strix, Karen, and we were a married couple, but we were also a professional couple, and we had a dungeon in downtown Los Angeles, and she was a very well-known dominatrix and got a lot of high-profile clients, one of them being Larry Wachowski, who's now Lana Wachowski. And so through that, they started having an affair. They were filming the Matrix 3 here in Sydney during the time of the affair. And so he would fly her out here, and she'd be here for like months, and I'd be like, what's going on? And I pretty much cut it off. I said it's either him or me. And so, you know, she couldn't make a choice, so I made a choice and filed for divorce.
Buck is now an author, trans activist and educator. In between porn films and live strip shows, he travels the world spreading this message.
I want to change the world. I want to make people think about what that means to be a man and a woman and a straight person and a gay person, and understand that it doesn't exist. I want to deprogram people from thinking they have to be this way. That's my ultimate goal.
Come in, come on, hello. Happy spooky season.
Hey guys, I'm here with Daisy Taylor, who is nice enough to show us her shooting space and home.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Oh, thank you. So you just actually got signed to Trans Angels.
I did.
That's exciting.
I'm very excited.
How are you feeling about that?
Won't lie, it's a little crazy. I'm the first contract star with Trans Angels.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Huge congratulations!
I know, I'm super excited.
So you also shoot your own content?
I do. This is the bedroom. If you see anything on my Pornhub channel, this is where it's gonna be. So, get used to it.
No, I have a huge dick. Does anyone here not believe? Like, do I need to prove?
I mean, you don't have to.
I mean, I would never make you do
Shut
something.
the fuck up, Schultz!
Okay. Here we go.
Daisy, 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 Daisy,
Daisy. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Oh!
Make me sound smart, please, Daddy. So I started adult work about 8.5 years ago. At the time, I was still presenting female, pre-transition, and I worked as a dominatrix, online domination mostly. At the time, it was just something I planned to do for a short period, make some money, pay my rent. It ended up being what funded my transition, and through the domination work was how I really was exploring my sexuality, exploring my gender, and came to really realize that I needed to transition. And I feel like there's a huge contrast from who I was then to who I am now, like much more fully embodied, much more genuinely who I am. Some of that is also I am 8 years plus older. I am a different person. I have different experiences and different authenticity in myself, but I do attribute some of that difference to like being I mean, I was playing a role as a woman. I'd been playing a role for 23 years as a woman. And naturally, when I was doing sex work in that woman body, there was no way for me to do it except as playing a certain role. And now it's like, I kind of always play myself because this is who I am, this is who I always was.
Hey, how's it going? We're here with...
Natalie Mars?
I knew that. Have we worked together before?
No, not yet.
Why not?
Well, are you gonna suck my dick or will I suck yours?
This is a place for me to play with masculinity, I think. I play with masculinity in porn, and it's fun to trump it up and poke at it in a way. You know, we play with femininity a lot, but we don't get camp and fun with masculinity in the same kind of way. So I'm excited to see how we do that.
Without coming off, I think we just hold it. Right. Finn?
All right, Stevie, man. Good to meet you. Hope you have a fucking awesome night.
I always do, bro.
Yeah, take that thing out there and get some butts. Fuck yeah. All right.
Okay, so I can see a bit clearer. Perfect.
In my normal life, I am pretty reserved and a little bit shy, and I hold back a little bit, and doing porn, I turn it on. I get to ham it up, and in a lot of these scenes especially, I've gotten to be more in control.
Cut.
Hey! And that's a wrap!
a 1 o'clock appointment in Linwood to drop off my paperwork. I have a 3:30 appointment for my CAT scan for my face for surgery tomorrow. Have to still check into my Airbnb, get situated, just have a ton of stuff to do, but I feel good. I'm happy to be here, a little nervous. Tomorrow's the big day, but we're here.
So what we're gonna do is first me and you are gonna look at your CT scan together, and then we're gonna do all of our markings, which will take a long time. This is looking at you axially or top down like this, okay? And we're looking at you top down, and the reason the CT scan is so important is we want to make sure that we're not causing injury to your brain, because we're going to be right there. So when we're looking top down, we want to make sure the sinuses are open, the sinuses are there. I've had patients who haven't had a sinus. We had to literally create one. I've had patients whose sinuses have been very different or hypoplastic, so all these things are really important in planning the surgery. So as we scroll down, we can see these are your frontal sinuses here, here. We keep going. They're nice and patent. They're a little bit asymmetric, so we'll do our best to give you as much symmetry as possible, but some asymmetry will be left. You can see your nose work that was done here too.
Right.
Yeah.
He said they were big.
They are fully pneumatized, or they're good size. I would agree with that statement, absolutely. So our plan will be to do the forehead reduction, eye bone reduction, brow lift, reduce the size of the forehead. We're then going to go ahead and do the mid-face lift. We're going to do a lip lift. We'll harvest fat from the abdomen and plan a fat transfer to make things smoother. We'll do a chin reduction and jaw reduction.
You're going to do the fat transfer to the temple and to the jawline, or to the cheekbone, correct?
Correct.
Because these are very divoted. You have that 3
Yes.
shape that I just think that is very just kind of grotesque.
Absolutely. It's not grotesque, but we'll do our best to make it better.
Right.
Okay? So we'll do our measurements now. We'll do the forehead first. Okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm marking the lip lift. I'm doing a bullhorn technique. The key with these facial surgeries is you have to be meticulous. Although you're doing a lot, it doesn't mean you rush. You take your time and mark everything perfectly. Good planning means good results, right? I'm going to put the chair up and we're going to mark the trachea. Mirror, let's go over the plan, Kelly.
Yeah, because it's so square. Hopefully you can at least get rid of the sides. The projection doesn't seem to be terrible to me, but definitely the...
So we'll start bottom up this time. So we're going to make a small incision along this crease up here, so it hides well. We'll do our best to hide it. This is the bump that we're going to go after, and our goal is to make it, we'll try our best to make it as flat as we can. Then we'll make an incision inside the mouth. And we're going to take this and we're going to take down how much it sticks out this way. Make it flatter, shave and cut the bone to make it a gentle U, okay? Then we'll feather this so it looks congruent. We'll go in the back and we'll take the angle down somewhat, not too much, because you do have nice definition, but we'll make it thinner and come in a little bit. I agree with you. The chin, we can make more gentle. Now, the chin and the nose have to be balanced, right? You do have a nice, strong nose, so we can't be over-aggressive or your face will look disproportionate.
Right.
We want to be dramatic yet effective, right? So we'll make this smaller and thinner. We'll bring this in. We'll feather the jawline in, okay? As we go up, we'll do the lip lift. I'll do my best to give you as much evenness as possible. For the jaw work, you'll have an incision inside your mouth here. Then we'll do the mid-face lift. We'll make an incision along your upper lip, basically end to end. We'll lift the face up, okay?
Where are you going to place the endotines?
They're going to go all the way in from here, all the way here.
Yeah, so you are going to go from the upper scar though to pull it up.
I'm going to connect everything to the
You're just
to the hair.
detaching from below because you can't literally fold my whole face down.
Correct.
Or you wouldn't want to.
Correct. In some way, correct. We're going to release, and it's not just detaching. We have to release everything so we can move it up. And then we'll move it up. We'll stitch it out. We'll connect everything up here, and we'll connect everything. No.
So it's somehow going to stay up there.
We're going to stitch it up with special sutures, yes. And then it'll hopefully heal in that position, okay? For the fat transfer, we're going to transfer here, here, and on the other side, we'll harvest from your abdomen. I'll mark that last. The lip lift, I've shown you that. The hairline, we'll lower it. We'll take this bone down, make it flatter. And when we take the bone down, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have to contour the rest of this too, because we don't want you to look like a unicorn, right? So we'll bring this in with this to make sure we give you as good of a contour as possible.
And then are you breaking those orbital rims or are you shaving them?
We're going to do both. We're going to use a tool to help make some cuts, and then we'll follow those cuts and bring the bone down on the side.
Because I think that they're very prominent. I think if you could get rid of that, I think that would just look so good to be more, just big, more real estate there.
Correct.
Because I have small beady eyes, and I think an attractive trait of a woman is big, beautiful, like cow eyes, is what they always call them,
We'll do our best.
Because I don't want that blepharoplasty, but see, I feel like my lid is so heavy.
And the brows are going to come up too, don't forget.
Oh, I'm hoping, yeah.
Right? And then we take this rim down with the brow up, it'll look nice.
Well, I was surprised because I see a lot of the men that have the big bulge up here. I feel like my bulge is like flat along with my eyebrows.
No, then we're going to take the bones down here too.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's good.
Okay? We'll do our very best, my friends. Today we're going to be doing facial feminization surgery. My amazing patient flew in from out of town. Our goal today is going to be to create a more feminine face. The way we're going to do that today is we're going to do a hairline lowering. What we're going to do is make a trichophytic incision along the hairline, lower the hairline. The brow bone is protruding too much. We're going to cut that out with an electric saw, set it back, use plates and screws to fix that in the more feminine position. Or overriding ridge over here can cause a very masculine look. Then we'll address the orbital rims and we'll reduce those and cut the bone out to give her more open eyes that are more feminine. As we go down, we're going to lift the eyebrows. Then we'll do a mid-face lift. Now when you look at a female face, you'll see it's a classic V pattern. When you look at a male face, you have more of a square or rectangle. So the goal today is to give her more of a V face by doing a mid-face lift and lifting the entire face up. As we go down, we're going to do a lip lift. Now, a lip lift is a procedure where you shorten the white lip and show more of the red lip. You do that by carefully planning and meticulously removing skin, advancing the skin to show more of the upper lip. We're going to aim for a more feminine proportion. We're going to do a chin bone reduction, we're going to do a jawbone reduction, we'll do a tracheal shave, we'll do a fat transfer. When you talk about feminizing facial surgery, it's not one procedure that makes the face feminine. It's multiple things done together in congruency to create harmony, balance, and a look that is more aesthetic in the eyes of the patient and the way the world perceives the patient. Let's do it.
want to be observant, okay? We want to look at people around us, men and women both, this time with an eye for what in their build makes them different from each other.
The weight of the skull in males is heavier and in females is lighter. The size is larger in males and smaller in females. The capacity is greater in males and it is 10% less than that of males in females. The walls of the skull are thicker in males and thinner in females. Muscular ridges, glabella, superciliary arches, temporal lines, mastoid processes, superior nuchal lines, and external occipital protuberance are more marked in males and less marked in females. The supraorbital margin is more rounded in males while it is sharp in females. The forehead is sloping or receding in males. It is vertical in females. Frontal and parietal tubercles are less prominent in males, whereas they are more prominent in females. The vault of the skull is rounded in males, and it is somewhat flattened in females. Contour of the face. In males, it is longer due to greater depth of the jaws. The chin is bigger and projects more forwards. In general, the skull is more rugged due to the muscular markings and processes, and the zygomatic bones are more massive. In females, the facial bones are somewhat smoother, and mandible and maxillae are smaller.
Regardless of culture, the sway of the hips is associated with beauty and femininity. If you look closely at the woman in the yellow dress, you'll see that when her right foot leads forward, her right hip appears to rise and swing outward. As her right foot moves behind her, her right hip moves down and swings in slightly. So why do women walk this way? It boils down to some key differences between male and female anatomy. A key difference between the skeleton of men and women is the pelvic bone. The female pelvis tends to be wider and shorter than the male pelvis. It needs to be this way because women's hips need to accommodate something totally crazy: pregnancy. The female pelvis needs to accommodate a baby that weighs 3.5 kilograms on average and be able to push the baby out during childbirth. The hip joint has two parts: the ball of the femur, which rotates within a socket in the pelvic bone, called the acetabulum. If you look at the hip joint from above, you can see that the acetabulum in men is aligned straight across the ball of the femur, while the acetabulum in women tends to angle forward. This is called the acetabular anteversion angle, and women tend to have higher anteversion than men. This means that in women, the pelvic bone needs to move along with the femur as women walk, as compared to men, where the pelvic bone stays roughly in the same position while men walk. Now looking from the front again, you'll notice something different when it comes to the angle of the femur. In men, the femur has a small angle moving in towards the center of the body, but in women, the angle of the femur is much larger. This angle is called the Q angle, and on average, the Q angle is 4.6 degrees greater in women than in men. This doesn't seem like a lot, but it makes a big difference in how women walk. In women, a combined result of a wider pelvis, greater anteversion of the acetabulum, and higher Q angle means that the pelvis has to rotate in order to allow a woman to walk. Combine this rotation in real time and you get the classic hip sway of the female walk.
So how do we feminize or masculinize our basic figure? So we have our shoulder to hip ratio. That is the biggest factor, okay? It is the primary difference between male and female proportions, is that relationship between shoulder width to the hips. Women have a much broader pelvic bone than men do, since they need to be able to bear and give birth to a child. This one central fact has consequences throughout the body, okay? It means that in women, the hip line is the broadest part of the body, and a narrow waist appears by contrast, while in men, the broadest part of the body is the shoulder line, and the waist is hardly different from the hips. The overall female silhouette, then, is an hourglass as opposed to the more trapeze shape shown in the male figure shown here. A woman's waistline is level with the belly button, but a man's appear much lower. This makes the torso on a male look longer. Also, be careful not to align the elbows with this apparently lower waist. The reference for the elbow joint remains the belly button, so that unlike the female figure, if the impression we have of a man's waist is where his trousers start, the elbows will look much higher. It can be very useful to sketch women with rounder shapes and men with more angular shapes, as it reflects the general impression of each body type. Generally speaking, a woman's body is made up of soft, rounded shapes, but also the fact that when not modified, the female body stocks more fat under the skin. Men's bodies are more angular and have harsher lines when they are muscular. A small detail, but significant, okay? Draw a woman's hips joints outside the pelvic bone. They just jut out a little bit more visibly on the body, and this helps capture that feature in the female sex. In contrast, keep a man's hip joints inside the pelvic bone.
Why do men have an Adam's apple, but women don't? That prominent chunk of stiff cartilage that's wrapped around the larynx is actually found in both men and women, though it tends to be a little more prominent in men. Also known as the laryngeal prominence, the Adam's apple is part of a cartilage structure that sits on top of the thyroid gland. That general area is called the thyroid cartilage. Thyroid cartilage in young boys and girls is about the same size, but this changes once puberty hits and testosterone levels in boys increase. As boys mature, their voice boxes frequently become significantly larger than in girls. Larger voice boxes are what lend men's voices their deeper tones, and they also push the thyroid cartilage outward. A ridge at the front of the structure creates the distinctive shape in the throat that we call the Adam's apple.
Did you know that there is a difference between the female and the male belly? And I don't mean the beer belly. I mean like the idealistic, like a regular female and a male belly. And as you know, the female's anatomy is a little bit different than the male's, because the skin is slightly thicker on a female than on a male. And if you look around the belly area, you can find that there's two distinctive fat pads that they get together looking like an apple. And if you look at the males, you can see the six-pack. Of course, females have a six-pack, but it's hidden underneath this apple. And if you look from the side, it almost looks like an angle. Here you can see.
A boy for about 2 years. Boy, she.
I feel like a gay man sometimes in a woman's body.
I liked Kristen Stewart more when she was a boy. I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I am Meg.
I'm a tranny. I'm a man. No, Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my God.
Some of my friends call me Charlie. Some of my friends call me Chuck.
I say you one of the boys.
I'm a man.
look like a man.
He's lying! That's not the mother, it's a man, baby!
The men dress like women.
Has anyone checked for a penis?
I'm a tranny. I'm a man.
It's a pantsuit!
No! Oh!
It's a jumpsuit. It's hard to tell because it's voluminous. But it's pants today, y'all. It's pants.
The tats? Hello, and the nails?
The butterflies are, you know, a symbol of the transgender community. How you come from the cocoon and you come as one thing and then you transform into something else. And so I wanted to honor my peeps tonight.
Look who I have, Cardi B joining me! Oh my God, I've been dying to talk to you. How are you?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling nervous, overwhelmed, everything.
You feel it all right now.
I feel it all, ooh, butterfly in my stomach and vagina.
Okay. I love you. Why do I love you? Well, I know I love you so much. The reason everyone loves you, because you speak your mind, Cardi B. You do not hold back.
Yeah, well, I love it too. Sometimes it gets me in trouble, whoever's in there.
This is the future. Human error. Evolution. This is the future.